Welcome to Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verses 16 through 31. After Joshua has said, "As for me and my household, we are going to serve the Lord," he's looking at the people of Israel as they're gathered at Shechem, and they say, "Oh yeah, we're right there with you." The last thing we'd think of is forsaking the Lord, and then they recite all that the Lord has done. They are reciting how God is a promise maker and a promise giver and a promise fulfiller. The Lord brought us out of Egypt, took us out of slavery, performed great signs, the manna in the desert, the water, the quail, right? And protected us our entire journey, protected us from all our enemies and drove them out of our enemies. And so we too, they say, will serve the Lord, for he is our God. And I want you to think about how every time that we come to worship, the whole worship service is this very process of reminding ourselves of what the Lord has done, how God is true, how God is a promise giver and a promise fulfiller, and we're reciting in various ways in our prayers and reading the lessons, in the sermon, in the creed, in communion. We are remembering, we are reconstituting ourselves as his people. And then after they say all this, right, Joshua says to them, you know what? You need to remember that the Lord your God is a holy and righteous God. He's a jealous God. And you are not going to be able to keep the covenant. Your capacity to keep the covenant is not great enough. There's a serious weakness. And he's warning them about their false gods, right? This is in verse 23. Now throw away the foreign gods that are among you and yield your hearts to the Lord. They have been traveling from Egypt for how many decades now? 5 decades? And they still have these foreign gods with them. And they've picked up new ones. And they're like, yeah, we would never forsake God while we have these little gods in our back pocket. How much are we like this? Where we say, yes, we wouldn't serve any God but the Lord our God, but yet we hold on to other gods as lucky charms just in case. And that's the thing, is that while we say we're going to follow the Lord with all our heart, mind, and soul, we always want to fudge it. We want partial obedience to be good enough. And what Joshua is doing is warning them against this, against failing the temptation to worship other gods, to serve other gods, and that there's a cost to this. And I want you to think about, what temptations do we face today? What are the little gods that we think we're going to rely on? Money, career, family, marriage. The list goes on. All these things are of this world, and they are not eternal. So who do you serve? How do you spend your days? And I think he says, I'm going to put this rock as a sign, as a witness against us. Why? Because the rock will never cease to be as long as there is creation. The rock doesn't have a human lifespan, doesn't have a human's attention span or memory. And so we're called to account. But the good news is that we're saved by grace, not by our righteousness. Well, thanks, friends. Have a blessed day.